The Alamo Dome in San Antonio is approaching a madhouse. Nearly 40,000 on hand to watch their Spurs, the NBA's best team over the course of the season, take on one of the league's biggest surprises in many seasons, the New York Knicks, with the NBA championship at stake. Duncan, off the glass.
That's the completeness that we talked about, his ability to step out on the floor and make that little jump shot off the glass. That's his shot.
Now Houston against Ellie. Ties it at 2.
What great confidence Allan Houston is playing with, coming off a 32-point game in Game 6 against Indiana. That little medium-range jump shot's the one he's going to have to take.
Robinson, nice pass to Ellie. The basket and 1. The foul is on Houston. Spinning baseline and scoring.
They found the mismatch. Charlie Ward was caught on Ellie. Great patience that time. I really like the way San Antonio has started here, Bob. With all the time off, you expect them to come out and maybe be frenetic. They have been anything but that. Very poised.
Houston's jumper is there.
Great screen that time by Dudley. Stepped over and freed Allan Houston. Allan off to a great start.
Robinson screening for Johnson. Now gets it back from him and hits the 15-footer.
Well, for the people who have not seen much of San Antonio, that's David Robinson's shot. He loves that little top of the circle. Duncan loves it on the angle where he can use that glass.
Thomas again.
Shot blocking compresses. Thomas, Camby, Larry Johnson will have that little jump shot. They have to make that off the penetration from Sprewell and Houston.
Johnson's pass knocked away. Houston comes out of the pack with the steal. They run the break, and Ward finishes it.
That's when New York is at their best, forcing turnovers and running. A great job by Kurt Thomas, fronting the post and knocking that entry pass away from Tim Duncan.
Here comes Sprewell. Duncan with him. Spree explodes to the basket and gets the roll.
See, that's what you got to do. You can't flip the ball at the basket. You got to go right at that shot blocker and make him commit. That time, Tim Duncan backed away.
Duncan with the reverse.
Just a matter of time if he's going to be single covered down there to get his feel of what Dudley's doing against him. Then he'll counter and do just what he did there, get the basket.
Sprewell.
Wow, what a shot over Tim Duncan.
How about the quickness at first? Little ball fake, quick flash, then he pulls up, stops on a dime for the high arcer.
Well, Dudley, a nice job there. That's his second block shot, and it leads to a quick, fast break from Houston. So right now, New York has to be very happy, Bob. They're doing a good job defensively. They're getting out and running. They're getting some second shots. Jeff Van Gundy has to be very happy right now.
Game tied at 15. Greg Popovich is not happy. He wants a timeout, finding Camby, who hits over Malik Rose.
See, with David Robinson out of the game now, Camby can go right over the top of Malik Rose. They've lost a shot blocker now, so New York can take that ball to the basket.
David Robinson, Sean Elliott, both really tired at this point, trying to get that second win. And it'll take some time because, Doug, as we talked earlier, you cannot really know what it is to have this crowd with this game-type action, try to get your breath back. So they'll recover and they'll be back as the game continues.
Rust is not a problem for Allan Houston. He continues on the roll he was on when they finished off the Pacers.
His confidence level is higher than I've ever seen it before.
And of course, you coached him at Detroit. Here's Malik Rose inside and scoring.
Well, they're going to need some energy from the bench. Get this crowd involved in the game. As Ahmad talked about, let the team get their second breath before they bring them back in.
Spinning to the baseline and converting on the reverse.
Wow, Latrell Sprewell's off to a great start. That energy and quickness, Bob, you can never put a premium on what high-energy, talented guys bring to your team.
He pulls up and fires. It's short. It falls right into the hands of Kurt Thomas for a gift basket.
Looked like Malik Rose tried to flop a little bit there to get the foul. The referee had no part of that, and New York up 6 now, 30 seconds to go in the quarter.
Ellie the lob to Duncan. Between 2 defenders, he puts it in.
How about the catch? How about the catch and the ability to come down as that big guy and lay the ball in the basket?
Houston driving on Ellie, spinning, shooting, and hitting again. Man, if you touched him, you'd singe your fingers. He's that hot. Duncan into the lane, pull-up jumper, good.
Now, how about that play? Tim Duncan, pump fake, drives in the lane, and pulls up. Now, this guy's 7'1" and probably weighs about 260 pounds.
Is he the best player in the league?
He is to me. He's the most complete player, defense and offense.
Jaren Jackson eyes a 3. And Larry Johnson up in a crowd. And the Knicks with a 3-point lead at 30-27.
You cannot let Larry Johnson spin. He wants to spin back to that strong hand away from the shot blocker. You must keep him going in the same direction when he tries to post up.
David Robinson cuts it to one.
That little isolation play, they love to bring David Robinson out to that free throw line extended and let him use his quickness. That time he scores against Kurt Thomas.
Sprewell pulls up and gives New York the lead.
Oh, that's a 1-on-4. You're talking about confidence. He just comes down the floor and lets it go, but that's the way you got to let Sprewell play. You can't restrict him. He'll make some bad plays, but he's going to give you a lot of positive energy, and he's scoring very well right now.
Ellie went for the steal. That left Houston open.
Got to square him up. The way Allen Houston is shooting, you cannot give him those easy looks. And right now, New York is in a very good rhythm. They're going through Sprewell and Houston. The only thing that could really hurt them is foul trouble right now.
Ellie against Dudley. Slings it back outside to Duncan. And Duncan lays it in.
Looks like Dudley hurt his wrist on that play, or his elbow. They can ill afford another big guy to get hurt right now.
He gets to his feet and joins his teammates, but Jeff Van Gundy's taking no chances. Robinson to Duncan.
Wonderful high-low, wonderful pass there. They get the fronting in the post, they swing it to the top, and makes the extra pass, and you see the great touch of Robinson over the top to Duncan.
Here's Sean Elliott, who hasn't scored yet. Robinson's open. Spurs by 4.
We always talk about the end of half, the last 2 minutes. New York must be very careful right now.
But he won't get the bounce. Here comes Avery Johnson, 2-on-1. Daniels on his right. Antonio Daniels lays it in.
When Chris Dudley's on the floor with Herb Williams, you're actually playing 3-on-5 offensively right now. That's what happened, and San Antonio took advantage of it.
Duncan's open. And he drills the 20-footer.
That was a set play to go 2 for 1. And now we'll get 2 shots for 1 in that last possession.
Into Sean Elliott. Elliott in the crowd had it knocked away. Avery Johnson picks it up and finds Duncan. 6 on the 24 as Ellie drives and scores. And New York is asking for a 20-second timeout, less than a minute into the third quarter. Working against Ellie, gets a screen from Johnson and pops home the jumper. Without Duncan, there's no way they're here.
Well, if you're going to be bad in the years when you can draft David Robinson and Duncan, and that's what's happened to San Antonio, the luck of the lottery.
A decade apart, 87 and 97. Elliott, nice catch inside, switches to the left hand and finishes it.
That's his first field goal. They've made a conscious effort to get him involved. He took 1 shot in the first half. They need him.
Allen Houston returns it to Ward for a 3, and he's got it.
Boy, he needed that one. He had a layup in the first half, but he needed that 3 because they're really keying on Houston and Sprewell. When they put that ball on the floor, Avery Johnson's going to help.
Ward coming over to help Dudley with Robinson. Cutting through is Avery Johnson, and Robinson finds him. Mario Ellie. Set shot short. The rebound to Camby. Sprewell blows by Elliott. Gives it up to Johnson. Now here's Camby against Robinson, leaning in and scoring.
That's what he brings, energy. You don't have to run plays for him, and he'll manufacture points by being out there with activity. And again, Bob, they've got themselves right back into it. It's only a 5-point game right now.
Tim Duncan. Ward coming over to help Johnson. The turnaround is good.
They're going to have to give him some help. Larry Johnson has got fouls. Tim Duncan is way too big. I think Jeff Van Gundy's going to have to take some chances here and make San Antonio make some outside jump shots.
Duncan spinning on Johnson. And the contingent from the Virgin Islands can erupt on that. You know, his primary sport was swimming as a teenager. And Hurricane Hugo ruined his high school's pool one year. And he was too afraid of sharks to swim in the ocean and train. And he turned his attentions to basketball primarily. So the Spurs may have Steven Spielberg to thank for their good fortune. The jumper by Sprewell is short, but how about the follow? Man, Camby just stuffed it through.
Well, that's what we saw against Indiana. And unfortunately for New York in this game, he picked up 3 quick fouls, and he's really been out of it offensively. Maybe he can come to life here.
Here's Avery Johnson. Spurs by 10. Ward. Got it. Charlie Ward with 7. Robinson looking for Duncan. And finding him.
What makes these two guys so great together is they both can pass the ball.
Larry Johnson spinning. Knocked back in his face, recovered by Camby, who beats the shot clock, but comes up empty. Johnson hustling after it, but can't quite come up with it. It's Avery Johnson for San Antonio. Sean Elliott all alone. Got it. Sprewell into traffic, finds Johnson, and then the tip for Camby. Robinson knocked away from him by Camby. Loose ball scooped up by Houston. Here comes Sprewell. Around Elliott. Lays it in.
Well, something's wrong with Marcus Camby. He's been a little gimpy getting down the floor both times on that play. He knocked the ball away from Robinson. Was very slow getting up.
Here's Jaren Jackson. 2 seconds to shoot. Jackson does. And the Spurs have now made their last 6 shots from the field as they begin to pull away.
So they had no outside shooting in the first half. It was all post-up Duncan Robinson. Now the outside guys are starting to get free.
Sprewell quiets the crowd just a bit. He scored 14. Robinson into the corner for Elliott. He hits the three.
Inside, outside.
From virtually the same spot where he hit the back-breaking three against the Trailblazers in Game 2 of the conference finals. Sprewell again. Good again.
This guy's unbelievable. He's got more energy. He can't wait to get the ball in his hands.
You think he's fazed by any of this?
I know he's not tired. He can't wait to get it again.
Camby trying to contend with Robinson. That leaves Jackson wide open, and he knows what to do.
You know, that's why Jeff Van Gundy didn't want to double team the post. His guys are in foul trouble. Now he's got to give them help. Now you're turning loose the shooters.
Wow, what a play. Here's Kurt Thomas inside from Ward.
Great hustle that time by New York, and then Kurt Thomas used his body nicely to go away from David Robinson to get that basket. And with all this said and done, now it's an 8-point game.
He's covered, so Jackson takes a wild off-balance three. And that's the kind of season and playoff run it's been for San Antonio.
I just watched Jeff Van Gundy. The look on his face said it all. He could not believe that shot went in the basket.
Trailing the play is Childs, and he connects.
You know, Sprewell is one of those guys you play with. He's bringing so much energy. He almost drags you along with him. If you're going to play, you better run.
Tim Duncan gives it up to Jackson. Jaren Jackson.
Right on time.
Man. He has just been huge throughout this playoff run for the San Antonio Spurs. Duncan turning on Dudley and scoring. 27 for Tim Duncan. And they'll set it back up. Inside 5 minutes to play in the fourth. Duncan. He's got 29.
Just no answer. They don't have any size. They've got to go to a smaller team. They've got to have some offense on the floor. But Larry Johnson has got to look for that jump shot. Bob, it looks like he's had a couple threes, and he just hasn't felt comfortable taking them.
Thomas follows and connects. Ellie playing a two-man game with Duncan, who takes it to the hoop. Doesn't get the roll, but the tip is credited to Duncan, and now he has 31. New York is now 2 for 15 in this quarter, and they've scored but 7 points. Make it 9 as Thomas swishes one off the baseline. But they still trail by a dozen. Jackson fires a three and puts the Knicks away.
You got to pick your poison. Do you take it away from the big guys? If you do, the Spurs have come up with timely shooting all throughout the playoffs. Tonight, once again, it's Jaren Jackson playing instead of Sean Elliott in the fourth quarter.
Sprewell answers with a three, but too little too late.
The Spurs have faced 3 different kind of teams in the first 3 rounds. Minnesota, they said Avery Johnson is going to beat us. Bob, he's only taken about 1 or 2 shots tonight. In round 2, it was Tim Duncan. In round 3, Robinson. Tonight, the big Twin Towers again and the timely shooting of Jaren Jackson. They have the right pieces around those big guys, and they've seen every kind of defense, and they've adjusted.
Sprewell runs it down. as the clock runs down. The rebound is taken by Duncan. That puts a capper on his night. A night which saw him score 33 points, take 16 boards, and block 2 shots. Game 1 to the Spurs.
27-point first quarter, 50 points thereafter. The thing you talk about, how do you score against the Spurs? Portland only 76 a game. Tonight, New York 77. Once again, the Spurs defense and the Twin Towers.
Another crowd in the vicinity of 40,000 is gathered at the Alamo Dome in San Antonio, knowing this might be the last time they'll see their beloved Spurs this year. In each of their first 3 playoff victories, they close their opponent out on the road. But if they've had any trouble at all, and you have to really look for it in this postseason, it has come in Game 2. Their lone loss was here on this floor, Game 2 of the opening round against Minnesota. And they needed last possession baskets against both the Lakers and the Trailblazers to prevail in Game 2 in the next 2 rounds. Johnson returns it to Duncan. His turnaround in the lane starts Game 2.
He has such a size matchup, Bobby. Can just take his time. If he feels the double team, throw it back out, get deeper position, get it back.
Ellie on Houston. Johnson alone for 3. That's what he didn't do in Game 1.
Well, that's what Jim Gray said he was going to do. He said he was feeling better. He was going to look for the quick 3. That's a great sign for New York.
Here's Sean Elliott. Shot the ball only 6 times in Game 1. Wastes no time getting one away here and gets a very kind roll on it.
Remember, he only took 1 shot in the first half of Game 1. They came right out in the third quarter and tried to get him involved. Tonight, second play of the game.
The Spurs big men run the floor so well. They'll get down there with your little guys. Here's Ellie inside.
Great start here for San Antonio. They've gotten everybody involved in the game. Elliott's got a basket. Ellie, Duncan, all the guys actively involved here, not just the big men.
Dudley trying to keep it alive. It winds up in Ward's hands for the New York bucket.
One of the real concerns for San Antonio, they've got a defensive rebound the ball. 13 offensive rebounds in Game 1 that led to 19 points.
Good pass inside to Houston. Off the Charlie Ward assist, he scores with the left-hand reverse.
And the next time he makes a nice little cut along that baseline, gets behind the defense. This time the big men are lifted out and they cannot give any help, and he gets a layup.
Speaking of layups, there's one for David Robinson. Sprewell curls out, takes the pass, then tries to find Dudley, who juggles it, and they set it up again. Sprewell. That ability to stop and elevate quickly. Here's Houston. A little bit of daylight, and that's all he needs.
You see what New York did that time. Charlie Ward went over and set a screen, and he actually got a mismatch now where Allen Houston could just shoot the ball over Avery.
Avery Johnson lost it, and off the save, it ignites a New York break that Sprewell closes in emphatic fashion.
So that was a very unselfish play. Sprewell, 1 of 5 to start the game, 1 of 8 in the fourth quarter of Game 1.
Duncan got it.
Took his time that time, Bob. I thought the last couple of possessions, he got a little quick with it, got a little excited, feeling that he had the mismatch. That was more of the patience we see from Duncan.
Mario Ellie slides along the baseline for the jam.
Allen Houston, very poor closeout at that time. You got to make Mario Ellie make some jump shots. He's really struggled from the perimeter in the playoffs. Pump fakes him and gets a dunk. You don't want to give him anything easy.
Camby is at the scorer's table. The lob to Duncan. Easy 2. Johnson trying to front him. No chance.
Bob, if you're going to front in the post, you can't let that ball come back to the top because he's walking him up the lane and just throwing right over the top of his head. They got to deny that swing pass.
Houston pump fakes, now lets it go and hits it.
Sean Elliott made a mistake right there. He had Allen Houston. He left him to go give help. They do not want to let Allen Houston get open shots.
Took the shot more quickly than he had to.
I think the horn distracted him. He heard the shot clock, and he got the shot up quickly. It's going to give him an opportunity for San Antonio to score. That's a bad play by Camby.
How many big men have run the floor in the history of the league like Robinson and Duncan? I'm not saying they're unique, but it's rare. Malik Rose missed the jump hook. Camby.
There's one who will. Marcus Camby, and again, you know, he's calmed down a little bit. Nice offensive rebound, a nice drive that time. That's a very, very positive sign if you're Jeff Van Gundy.
Larry Johnson to Camby. A running one-hander is good.
Nice play that time again by Camby. So after missing a little layup. Starting to deliver good minutes here.
San Antonio now wants to talk it over. Out to Kerr. It's a two. His foot was on the line. But for San Antonio, it's good to see Steve Kerr hit one. They're still waiting for him to get in a true groove. Sprewell's jumper is there.
See, Bob, it always happens. Guys come out and they're so fired up, you're playing too fast. You get a little tired, you get a rest, you come back in, you calm yourself down. That's a nice shot.
Sean Elliott hits the three.
How many times have we seen it with San Antonio? You try to take away something and they get timely shooting. Steve Kerr jumper, Elliott open three.
Sean Elliott drives past Johnson with the underhander that's good.
See, that's why Jeff Van Gundy was afraid to play Larry Johnson against Elliott. He had the matchup on one end, not the quickness to stay with Elliott on the drive. He broke him down and got it to the basket. He's going to end it here. You get a little timeout for a little bit of a run.
Childs gets a screen and pops the jumper.
See, I like what New York is doing right now. They're trying as much as possible to have 5 guys on the floor who can score. That way, San Antonio can't help as much on Sprewell and Houston.
Here's Sprewell with a long two, and he drills it.
See, since he's come off the bench with the rest, he's 2 out of 2 from the floor, 2 out of 2 from the line. He has 6 points. Much better rhythm.
Mario Elie with a floater that's good.
He has that little runner. We've seen it so many times. I still think you have to make him shoot the jumper. He's not confident with it right now. Allen Houston, 2 poor closeouts to get beat on that baseline.
The Admiral baseline jumper. San Antonio by 6. Houston gets into the lane and to the hoop.
Oh, what a great drive by Allen Houston. Took the ball inside, showed it. Both big men went for it. He slithered away from it off the glass. That's a nice play and a momentum stopper if you're New York.
Duncan hits the jump hook. He's in double figures now with 10. The rebound to Robinson. Duncan again. Good again.
What a shot. Tim Duncan, footwork, knowing right where he was, on the floor, off the glass.
It's Allen Houston. Another tough shot, and he gets the roll.
What confidence Allen is playing with. You know, with the shot blocker out there, David Robinson, he was able to take it inside. Malik Rose did not bother his shot.
Here's Avery Johnson. A pull-up J, and he drains it.
There's a little 4-point swing right there. You're trying to make a run. Allen Houston misses a tough layup. Avery follows it with a 2. So 4-point swing. Instead of a 3-point game, you got a 7-point game.
Houston. The Knicks move to within 5.
New York is much more aggressive tonight, Bob, going back after Duncan. They're not making an all-out double team, but they're getting back there and digging. They forced 2 straight turnovers.
Ellie lobs to Duncan. He finds Robinson cutting through the lane. The basket counts, plus the foul. Danny Crawford with the dramatic delayed call. Avery Johnson, head fake, now slithers through and lays it in. Well, somebody's going to be wrong after this series is over as New York asks for a 20. Damon Stoudemire of the Trailblazers said about a year ago, no team with Avery Johnson as its point guard will win an NBA title. Sprewell cuts it to 8.
Do you know how good that was?
That was pretty good. Pretty good.
Robinson, you got a 360 spin going back to your weak hand. This man's got no fear.
That leaves Robinson inside with the mismatch. Duncan follows.
Their first offensive rebound is going to be a 3-point play. This is what Ahmad talked to Greg Popovich about. They've got to get some second shots.
Ward for 3, and the Knicks needed that.
Not the guy you would think would come down 11 and shoot the 3, but that was a very confident shot.
Houston guns a 3, and it's a big one. His foot actually was on the line. I take it back. A 2-point shot with his foot barely on the line. So it's a 6-point deficit for New York at 49-43. Duncan off the glass.
See, I just love his patience. You know, he doesn't get flustered. They're banging him, goes inside, back outside, one right back into him again. That's good offense.
San Antonio leads by 7 as we move inside 4 minutes. Houston with a nice pass to Camby and an even nicer finish.
Did you see the quickness off the floor by Camby? Duncan couldn't even get over there soon enough. That ball was in the basket before he could get off his feet.
Houston with the catch and shoot. And New York moves to within 3.
Bob, they're shooting 31% on the game, and they're down 3. Why? Because they're playing great defense. They only have 5 turnovers, and they're being much more aggressive in the post tonight.
Sean Elliott, a terrific baseline move, and man, does that hurt if you're looking at this from New York's perspective, as it could be a 3-point play.
So I'm sure if you're Jeff Van Gundy, you say, let's make Sean Elliott make a jump shot. Let's not let him drive that thing to the basket. He's missed his last 3 shots. Kerr throws it in the corner, and the poor closeout by Sprewell gives up the baseline, then the touch foul. The great finish by Sean Elliott. This could double the lead here, Bob, as you talked about here in the last 3 seconds of this quarter. That could be a huge play for the Spurs going into the 4th.
This is even worse for New York. Duncan with the rebound. It's a 4-point trip down the floor.
Boy, Jaren Jackson is a marked man tonight. They are not giving him one clean look at the basket.
Houston with a tough fadeaway.
Oh, Allen Houston, take your time. You realize you got a mismatch. You go over the top of Steve Kerr, and we got a 5-point game, Bob, we talked about in the open. Can the Knicks hang around? Can they do it with their defense? And can they steal it late? They're right there with under 10 and a half minutes to go.
Kurt Thomas, they need more of that. Their big guy's able to step out and hit the jumper.
That's that little medium-range jump shot that you just have to make when you play San Antonio. That's the one they say we're going to give you. You're going to have to make it to beat us.
Avery Johnson finds Mario Elie. His set shot from the head of the key is good.
That dribble penetration just enough for Mario Elie's man to help out. Gets his feet together in that little shoulder set shot.
Larry Johnson backing in against Rose. Turning and hitting, plus the foul. Larry Johnson just glad to see someone leaning over his shoulder who isn't 7'1".
I think you got to get David Robinson back in the game right now. They need another shot blocker, and here he comes. He's got a big rest.
Duncan out to Jackson, though.
Guess who with the offensive board, and guess what it leads to? Guess who passes the ball?
One of the Twin Towers to the other. A terrific look by Duncan, and the dunk for Robinson.
And see, Robinson needed that rest, Bob. He was really getting tired out there. That was a fresh play there. You could see he had some bounce.
Avery Johnson to Robinson. He drains it.
Fresh legs. You get a chance to rest David Robinson. He's come back strong.
Robinson, little hop into the lane, a whistle blows, and a New York foul.
I tell you, New York desperately misses Patrick Ewing in a series like this, Bob. A big body, a guy that you can put in the game that can make some shots.
Sprewell gives it up to Camby, who lays it in, but he charged. They'll wave it off.
Boy, that's a tough play right there. It looks like Camby makes a nice move at the basket, and who comes over? Tim Duncan. Camby explodes to the basket, a nice little pass. He comes over, sets himself. That's a good call. He was there, and he was outside the box.
And that is Camby's 5th. Sean Elliott around the perimeter to Mario Elie, whose shooting has been ice cold. Avery Johnson, 2 seconds to shoot. Slapped back in his face by Camby. Sprewell takes off to the other end. Sprewell tried to leave it behind him for a trailer. Johnson is there to pick it up. Around the perimeter for Childs. Off with the 3. But Johnson clears it. Here's Sprewell. Doesn't get the roll, and Robinson finally claims it for San Antonio. 4 minutes remaining.
And New York has 57 points. I mean, defensively, they've played well enough to win. The Spurs only have 68.
Camby. Not what he had in mind.
When you look back at the 8 assists that New York has tonight, there's a couple of reasons why. First of all, San Antonio makes you play a lot of one-on-one basketball and make shots. New York has not been able to do that. And Bob, I think they really, that last 2 possessions of that third quarter, we're going to look back on when it was a 3-point game. They scored 4 points to push it to 7. That was a tough stretch for them.
Here's Sprewell, and a foul on the play. It's on Sean Elliott, his 3rd. And the owners of the Spurs believe they need a basketball-only arena with the type of amenities that are revenue-producing for the team to be successful in the long run. There is even talk of the possibility of their leaving town, as slim as that possibility might be. The Knicks are shooting 30% in the game on 23 of 76. Sprewell improves that a bit. Now they're down 8. Mario Elie, good free throw shooter if they're thinking about fouling him. Avery Johnson to Duncan, and that may spell good night.
Bob, how frightening it is. This guy has played 1 year and 50 games in the NBA, and he's already the best player in the league. How frightening, and the future for this young guy as he rolls into a Game 2 victory. Avery Johnson said, I'm just going to throw it. If I keep it in the building, Tim Duncan will find it, and he does. And I think that does it. I think that closes the Knicks out. But Tim Duncan, the relentless runner, we've seen it all through the playoffs. He plays minute 1 through 48. And David Robinson, the leader, the guy who's been there for him, loves it.
Inside a minute, after the 2 free throws by Avery Johnson, Spurs by 12. Sprewell leans in and banks it in. He wanted a foul on top of it, but doesn't get it. Mario Elie, bumped and fouled. Patrick Ewing looking on helplessly from the bench. He did so much to get this team here, and did a lot of it through clenched teeth. And he's smiling. They show his image on the board, and some fans showing class cheer. Others boo. How do you boo a guy who's had a career like his?
Well, you can't. I mean, Patrick is the ultimate guy who you would love to see out there playing right now. And as he strokes that chin, you can only imagine what's going through his mind right now. Just to be out there and be a part of this to try to help his team. The most frustrating thing, Bob, I went through that in 1980 with the 76ers. I injured my knee, could not play in the finals, and saw Magic Johnson and the Lakers beat the 76ers. What a frustrating feeling it is to sit there and watch and not be able to help.
Sprewell to the left hand, tough hoop. Sprewell now with 26 points. Here's Antonio Daniels out to Jaren Jackson, who's one of them. Jaren Jackson finally hits a 3, which is some satisfaction for him. But Jackson's a guy who's been with 8 teams. Mario Elie played with a bunch of CBA teams, played in 4 different countries. Avery Johnson was cut twice by the Spurs. So if these guys are closing in on a championship, it's been after a long, hard road for most of them. They take a 2-game lead to New York, winning Game 2, 80-67. Madison Square Garden in New York, the building Michael Jordan referred to as the Mecca of basketball. But the Garden has not seen an NBA champion in 26 years, and tonight their Knicks come home down 0-2, a deficit that has been overcome only twice in the long history of the NBA Finals. And if the Knicks are to do it, they must do it against a team that has won a record 12 consecutive playoff games this year. Larry Johnson, tough shot, gets the bounce. Houston against Jaren Jackson, who has replaced Elie. Slides inside of it.
You can already see the aggression of New York getting to the basket, something we did not see in San Antonio.
Duncan gets San Antonio on the board.
Well, you get that deep in the post, there's nothing you can do. He just had his man sealed, and Bob, we've seen that so often.
Allen Houston's jumper.
See, Allen has gotten easier shots. He's not playing one-on-one. In San Antonio, they're playing one-on-one. They're posting him here.
Avery Johnson flies to the hoop, taking it the length of the floor.
It's only a 7-4 game right now, so a lot of energy expended. They're only down 3. They have to like where they are right now.
Avery Johnson penetrates and lays it in.
Sprewell had his back turned that time defensively. Did not see Avery Johnson. Now Avery Johnson's had 2 layups.
Here's Allen Houston. Off the glass, count the basket, plus the foul.
San Antonio must have seen something on the film because they've run this play about 4 times now. This little cross screen for Allen Houston. They're looking to post him rather than have him play one-on-one on the perimeter.
Elliott on the perimeter, back to the Admiral with the hook that's good. Camby actually got a piece of it, but he was strong enough to retain control and complete his shot.
See, people talk about that Indiana series, what Camby did. He's playing 2 big men now who are agile, quick, and have speed. They did not have that in Indiana.
Sprewell's jumper is good.
See, See, the big thing here, though, Bob, is it's Sprewell and Houston again doing all the scoring. Eventually, some of these other guys are going to have to give him some help.
Sprewell faking, putting it on the floor, in the lane, got it.
That's such a tough shot. Sean Elliott played great defense, and Sprewell just got to the lane and hit that little medium-range jump shot.
Johnson from Houston. Johnson with 4 points. The Knicks up 8. Timeout San Antonio. Antonio Daniels. Duncan screening for him. Cutting in front for the steal is Ward. He's gone. He went to the reverse, though. The follow isn't there. Sprewell a third try, and he puts it in.
Well, San Antonio's got to get back on defense. That time, Sprewell and Allen Houston both got shots at the basket because Houston did not get back. Now, Bob, with this offensive team that San Antonio has on the floor, they've got to attack the post defensively. New York, make Antonio Daniels shoot the ball.
Robinson's hook puts an end to an 8-0 New York run.
So you got to swarm those big guys right now. Now you've got to change your strategy because you've got 2 non-shooters on the perimeter in Daniels and Avery Johnson.
Knicks working around the perimeter. Ward to Thomas. Thomas into traffic, hits with the left hand.
Bob, in the first 2 games, we saw the ball sticking on one side of the floor. It's changing sides of the floor, causing San Antonio to move their feet defensively.
Antonio Daniels fires a 3 and hits it.
That's a big shot because Allen Houston is going to go back to help defensively. If he makes that shot, look out.
Ward hits it. They're begging for some offense from Ward and or Childs. They're 2 point guards. 1 of 2 for Robinson. New York by 7. Allen Houston catch and shoot and hit.
Pretty basketball, but he started inside and he's moved outside.
Houston with 11 first quarter points.
The fans here yelling last shot, let them know there's about a half-second differential on the shot clock.
Sprewell. Wide open Childs. That's his first 3 of the finals. He was their second best three-point shooter for the year. 3 seconds. Daniels answers.
What a big shot. Antonio Daniels off the bench with 6 points. That was a big shot. Now, instead of a 14-point lead, it's 11.
Here's Duncan against 2 defenders. Banks it in, plus the foul.
Now, interesting matchup there. And I don't know if it was just because it was on the break, but they've got Larry Johnson guarding Duncan there instead of Dudley. That's a mismatch.
Here's Houston for Dudley.
You got to foul him. The guy's got a bad arm. Why you let him lay the ball in the basket? Tim Duncan's got to take that foul.
Not much of a foul shooter with 2 good arms. Kerr, the jumper. They're still waiting for him to get on track. He hits his first shot tonight.
Well, in the playoffs, he's 5 for 24 going into the game tonight, so that's a big shot. They need all they can get from the perimeter.
Duncan backing in on Dudley. And banking it home.
Just such great patience. His maturity level for a second-year player is really amazing.
Arielli back in, guarding Sprewell, who explodes past him, then comes up short with the shot. Johnson is there to clean up the mess.
See, Larry Johnson cannot get those shots off if you have both David Robinson and Duncan in the game. With Malik Rose in there, they should go inside to Larry Johnson now.
Daniels off the dribble. Antonio Daniels on fire here.
You know, it's been amazing in the playoffs. There's been somebody make timely shots for San Antonio, Bob, whether it be Jaren Jackson, Sean Elliott. Tonight, Antonio Daniels pulls them to the within 6.
Here's Johnson scoring. 8 points for Larry Johnson.
See how the ball changed sides of the floor? It started on the right, came back into the left, post up. That makes those big guys stay at home.
Avery Johnson, 2 seconds to get a shot off. Johnson on the run. Beats the buzzer and cans it. Avery Johnson told his whole career that he can't. Spurs trail by 7 as they put it back in. Robinson driving on Dudley. Little contact, they let it go, and the Admiral connects off the glass.
He's a lefty, but he wants to drive right, and Dudley's been told, don't let him get to the basket with his right hand.
Johnson in the paint. Double pump fadeaway.
Look what I found. It looked like he was going to pass that ball to Dudley, realized who it was, said, doesn't do me any good to pass it. You can't shoot it. I might as well get it up there.
Ward took it away. His pass is deflected. And Daniels has it back. Lobbing for Duncan, and Duncan slams it home. And there's a needless foul by Chris Childs.
You got to let that one go, Bob. And also what happened is when a guy falls down on the floor and stays back under his own basket, you got to keep a guy back. And what happened here, Chris Dudley went running down the floor.
Here's Sean Elliott left alone. Takes it to the basket and lays it in. He hesitated on the three. Everybody in Madison Square Garden, except maybe the 22 tickets given away by Mario Elie, was sure that he had walked. They let the play go. Here's Sprewell stopping and popping.
They got to move that basketball. They cannot just come down and play one-on-one against San Antonio. That plays into their strengths.
Elie, the set shot from the corner. The rebound to Duncan, and he puts it back. Duncan has 12. Sean Elliott finds Robinson.
Bob, you notice tonight that the San Antonio players in the post are holding the ball longer. The reason, they must make New York make a stronger double team. Remember, Popovich told us yesterday they were passing the ball too quickly and allowing New York to recover.
Here's Sprewell over Jackson, giving New York a bit of breathing room. They're up by 4.
He's so quick, you almost hope he takes that shot. Otherwise, he's going to blow right around you. They're giving him the 15-footer.
Spurs perhaps looking for a 2-for-1. Johnson with the quick jumper. That's what he had in mind.
That's a great call, Bob. Avery Johnson saw the clock. He knew what he wanted. There's about a 4.5-second differential. That's a great pickup there.
Sprewell with Elliott on him. Houston posting on Elliott. The fadeaway is good.
Houston very comfortable in that low block. This is the way they started the game. Now, after 4 quick jump shots that didn't work, they went right back into the post as they started in the first period. We're right back to that post play. Allen's got it working.
2 in a row.
Bob, this is a mistake that some coaches make. They run a play, it works, they go to something else.
The Garden's alive once more. Robinson with the lob for Elie, but it's broken up. On the turnover, the Knicks come back. Houston, a pull-up, and he hits the three. And just like that, San Antonio calls a second timeout. Avery Johnson with the bounce to Duncan. Elie will try it again. And finally, he hits one. It's a 2-pointer. The Knicks have hit all 14 free throws they've tried in this game. Duncan, triple team. Ball not free. He's got it back. And he scores.
He didn't bring that ball down that time. He kept it up. The first time he brought it down and was stripped. That time he kept the ball up high.
Out high to Sean Elliott. Now it's the Admiral. Shot clock winding down as he drives and brings San Antonio to within 4.
See, I think David Robinson confuses you. He's a left-handed player who really likes to go right, and I think sometimes guys get caught off balance by that.
Duncan with a nice pass to Avery Johnson. Wow, what a feed.
Another one of those scoring grounds by New York as San Antonio has upped the level of their defense. New York has not been able to score.
Duncan spins with the hook and banks it in.
See, Larry Johnson has no chance down there. When that double team comes from the top and he spins baseline like that, it's too little too late.
Tied at 58. The shot clock's going to run out unless they get one off here, and Houston does, and cans a big one. The shot clock kept ticking because the shot never drew iron. It was an air ball.
See, I think that's a big shot because San Antonio otherwise has a chance to take the lead. That would be devastating for New York to play so well and be behind right now at this juncture of the game.
Duncan given room.
That's
and the
illegal.
bank is open for him.
That's illegal. For a guy to step out like that and shoot that ball off the glass.
He's got 20, and it's a 1-point game. Sprewell slices through, goes to the left hand, and hits a ridiculous shot.
Now, this is the same guy you said hadn't made a shot in the third quarter, right? You think he's going to stop shooting?
I doubt it.
Gorgeous shot by Latrell Sprewell, and then another turnover by San Antonio. The offensive foul on Duncan.
Houston. That's what he did all the time against Indiana and has been unable to do for the most part against the Spurs until now.
Well, Jeff Van Gundy said to him when he was in foul trouble, keep your head in the game. A tremendous dunk. More importantly,
goes to the floor. The shot doesn't fall. Dudley claims the rebound. Here comes Sprewell. Full speed ahead.
You better not backpedal when he's coming at you. You better turn and sprint.
The Knicks have 14 fouls already, so they're in foul trouble with 9 minutes to go. Kerr for three, and he puts it down.
I saw the Knicks coaches there. When he hit that shot, I was like, oh, no. Don't let him get going.
Houston to Johnson. And he drains the three.
Timely three-point shooting. That's the Larry Johnson that we show against Indiana. The four-point play and the one game, the two killer threes in Indiana to give them the 3-2 edge. They're going to go right back through Allen Houston again.
Here he is, and there it is.
Got to get Elliott back in the game. Papa's going with Kerr and Avery Johnson this long time.
Mario Elie driving, banking it in, and coming to the line. Only Ellie's second basket of the game. He has 5 points.
See if Dudley catches that ball. He wants to get rid of it. He doesn't want to get fouled.
Sprewell.
You know, Bob, I can't even think that this guy would get tired. I keep talking about fatigue. This guy could play a double hitter.
Mario Elie hands to Robinson, and he scores, plus the foul.
That's another touch foul by Chris Childs. We saw it earlier in the first half when he did the same thing to Tim Duncan, and this is a touch foul.
Big one for Sean Elliott, and it's there for him.
That's a 5-point swing. The 2, you don't get an opportunity. Now the 3 you give up, so instead of a 7 or 9-point game, it's down to 4. Those are critical mistakes that you can't make when you're trying to win in the playoffs.
Houston stays hot and boosts the lead to 6.
He is playing like a real star tonight. He is putting this team right on his back. All the big shots have been Allen Houston.
Larry Johnson drives baseline, finds Camby. His turnaround is there.
I tell you what I love about what New York is doing right now, Bob. They're playing to win the game.
Sean Elliott now through the lane. Running one-hander good, and they needed that. It pulls them to within 6 with just under 2 minutes left.
Still plenty of time if you're San Antonio. No need to panic. You just need to play defense and get a stop. See, Avery hasn't gotten many of those tonight. Now he has to take a big shot and really has not been involved in the offense tonight. So good defense that time by New York.
Sprewell against Elie. Over him. And that may finish San Antonio. For Sprewell. 1:04 on the clock. It's Robinson. Ball knocked away, and he was fouled. It's Camby, and he's fouled out for the second time in this series.
We see 58, 73 points from these 3 guys. Remember, they've been averaging 72 in the series. That's a huge jump.
6-point difference. Pressure in the backcourt, they break it. Here's Johnson. Looking to use up some clock, and now they reach in and foul Johnson intentionally.
Tim Duncan said, I was fouling for 2 or 3 seconds. Why won't you call it?
A good point, actually.
With only 1 timeout, you're not going to burn it here. You want to try to get a score. You want to save it in case you have to move in the last 5 seconds.
Duncan. Out to Elie. Duncan will shoot a 3, and it's short. Ball loose. Robinson recovers it. They wave the basket off. Loose ball foul on San Antonio.
Avery Johnson, the littlest man on the floor, got caught with the loose ball foul.
Second one won't go down for him. San Antonio with a glimmer of hope, but not much. Jaren Jackson has to force a 3. Houston deflects it. Rose picks it up, misses the layup. Kerr recycles it out to Antonio Daniels, and then he throws it away.
That's it, Bob, right there. That did it.
Spurs got the ball back. They called an offensive foul on Chris Childs, but just as quickly they cough it up on the turnover, and now the clock winds down. Every other team, the Spurs have slapped on their home floor in Game 3. Not the Knicks, not tonight. there will be no sweep. In fact, there may very well be a series now. Quite a night in New York. For Doug Collins, Ahmad Rashad, and Jim Gray, I'm Bob Costas. You've been watching the NBA Finals on NBC. If you thought New York City was alive for Game 3, wait until you hear the roar at the Garden for Game 4. Allen Houston, the toast of the town after his 34 points, convinced Knicks fans that they are not just able to compete with the Spurs, but that tonight, if all goes well, they can draw even. And, against all odds, turn this into a best 2 out of 3 test for the NBA championship. Game 4, only a few moments away. So the Knicks, who turned it over only 10 times to San Antonio's 20 giveaways in Game 3, give it up right away in Game 4, and Avery Johnson, who had the steal, then converts the basket at the other end.
Well, it looks like Popovich wants to get his perimeter players off early. Avery Johnson with that early score.
Sprewell ties it. Ellie drives baseline.
See, early, who's taking the shots? Ellie, Avery Johnson. I think this is a conscious effort not to let those guys get lost here early in the game. He knows Robinson and Duncan can get involved anytime.
The ball made contact with the rim, and they got a fresh 24. Sprewell's shot is a high arcer, and he gets the bounce.
His 2 shots have been very, very difficult ones.
Elliott from the side hits the 3. They've been waiting a long time for that.
Well, they need him. You know, Bob, he's their 3rd best scorer, and we've seen what he's done in the playoffs this year.
Duncan from Ellie. Into the lane, on the run, missed it. Robinson keeping it alive, gets it back, can't put it down. But finally, the 3rd try is there on the tip. Tim Duncan's first basket.
You know, Camby's guarding David Robinson, and he's a shot blocker, so someone's going to have to get their body on David Robinson. Now, that's twice he's got his hands on the ball early on the offensive backboard.
Houston got it.
He's playing with such great confidence. He missed his first couple shots, doesn't even hesitate on that jump shot.
Duncan turns and banks it in. Spurs by 3. Elliott again. Can't hit a second successive 3. Robinson puts it home on the putback. And this is more offensive rebounding than we've seen of late from San Antonio. Avery Johnson. San Antonio by 7.
See, San Antonio's made an unbelievable adjustment here, Bob. They're getting Elliott and Avery Johnson involved. Very, very smart.
Houston drives baseline into a crowd and hits against 3 defenders. Charlie Ward finds the range with a 3. Ward, to be honest, has given the Knicks next to nothing.
And he's actually played better than Childs, so that tells you what's happened. But the one thing they've done, Bob, is they've done a great job pressuring the guard.
David Robinson with a 15-footer that goes down.
Everybody involved right now for San Antonio. They're in a very, very good offensive rhythm.
The rebound to Duncan and the outlet to Avery Johnson. It's taken away from him by Ward. Now a foot race with Robinson. Ward goes for the trap of Camby, who slams it home. A smart move by Charlie Ward.
He's got those quarterback eyes. He played quarterback, and he was reading the field that time. He looked over his shoulder, and he saw he had Camby. That's a nice play.
So he lateraled, huh?
He lateraled, absolutely.
Kerr is in for Avery Johnson, who's out to have his elbow bandaged, and Duncan does it again. Duncan, who scored 20 in Game 3, has 6 already tonight. He was held scoreless 0 for 4 from the floor in the 4th quarter when the game was being decided on Monday. Ward spinning. Charlie Ward feeling it all of a sudden.
7 now points from Charlie Ward as he's really picked up some pace here now.
And here's Kerr, dumping it into Duncan for the turnaround off the glass. 8 points for Tim.
And Bob, to follow that up, because Avery's out with the blood and Steve Kerr's in, look for Charlie Ward to continue to try to attack him. So they're going to try to get him back in as soon as possible. They do not like to play Steve Kerr as a point guard.
Larry Johnson. His first basket. The jumper by Duncan. Spills off. The rebound to Larry Johnson. Houston pulls up and fires. Allen Houston stays high.
I love that early offense for New York because it takes the shot blocking out of the game for San Antonio. Those shot blockers then become ineffective. They only blocked 3 in game 3 after 7 the first 2 games. Robinson's out, Rose in for the Spurs. Mario Ellie to the hoop. The jumper, or that set shot really, that he takes has not been there for him throughout the playoffs. Ward. What's up with Charlie Ward? I tell you what's up. He likes the matchup right now. With Steve Kerr on him, he knows he's got to give him some daylight, back off of him, and he's taking advantage of it right now. That's good basketball.
This is Jackson. 17 points in game 1. 3 points total since. His pass intercepted by Charlie Ward. Ward with 10 points now. His 3 and then his steal and drive have given the Knicks the lead.
Looks like Mario Ellie's down on the court holding his leg. They're going to have to take a timeout.
Here's Steve Kerr. Pulls up in the lane and hits the 10-footer.
That's at least 8 or 9 screen rolls that they've run to totally spread the offense out. And they're getting in the lane, Bob, something we did not see in the first couple games with their perimeter people.
Houston to Thomas, who juggles it, gets the shot off, and hits it. With 1 second to play. The Knicks trailed by 7 at one point in the first quarter. They ended in front by 2. Knicks quickly back. Camby catch and shoot.
So vital for him to stay out of foul trouble. They were very fortunate. He got in foul trouble in game 3, played only 16 minutes. They could get a win. They need him 35, 36 minutes tonight.
Avery Johnson throws up that left-handed runner.
New York's got to be a little concerned. Those guards are getting in that lane. And if they start coming over the New York big men to help, that's going to free up Duncan and Robinson. That's got to be a concern right now, even though New York still leads by 2.
Jerome Kersey is in the game for the first time. He hasn't seen much playing time at all of late. Same move for Avery Johnson, same result. He's got 10 points.
How about the leading scorers in the game? Charlie Ward with 10 and Avery Johnson with 10. Bob, I bet I could have won a little bet with you on that tonight, right? Early in this game.
Avery Johnson swings it to Jerome Kersey. And Jerome Kersey, not heard from in quite some time, hits his first shot. He went to the finals with the Trailblazers in both 90 and 92.
Jeff Van Gundy's going to talk about the defense. He cannot be happy. They've given up 33 points already, and the Knicks are finding a way to score, Bob.
Duncan with the screen. Around the perimeter, here's Elliott. Sean Elliott finding the range which had eluded him earlier in this series.
I think it's really smart what San Antonio is doing right now. Duncan is 3 of 8 for the game. The rest of the team is 13 for 20. You know Duncan eventually is going to get his. Now everybody's involved. I think that's very positive for San Antonio.
Houston comes back and immediately makes his presence felt.
You know, I was talking about watching, as a young guy, watching films and stuff of Walt Frazier and Earl Monroe, 2 great New York guards and won championships here. That little mid-range jump shot, he said they were so effective. That's what he's doing.
Robinson almost lost it. Duncan covers up. Elliott's alone for 3 and gets an incredible bounce to Cannon.
Remember, they said they liked the rims here. Tim Duncan, when he came in, he said, I love these rims. That was a kind bounce.
Here's Dudley. Prior to that, Dudley had missed 13 of his last 14 field goal attempts. Childs to Sprewell, pulls up and connects. Knicks getting it from a number of sources tonight.
This has been the best game of the series. Well played by both teams.
Robinson, jumper over Dudley, bounces home. 8 for the Admiral. He hasn't been to the free throw line yet. 5 minutes to play in the half. Duncan fades, fires, and puts it down off the glass.
Patience. He is just taking his time after 3 for 8 start. Now he's in his last 2 shots, so he's working himself into the game. Well, also, Allen got a taste of being a father the other night. Sunday night, he got up in the middle of the night. The baby was crying. And you see that little scratch on his forehead there. He got into the refrigerator and banged his head early in the morning. He said he was embarrassed that he was going to have stitches. So welcome to fatherhood, Allen.
And welcome to trying to defend Tim Duncan, and that goes for everybody in a white shirt.
Well, Popovich called that timeout, and he said, look, we've spread them out. Now throw the ball in the post. He was upset with Jaren Jackson with that last quick shot.
Here's Ward into the lane, finding Camby.
Tony Ward has been great, Bob. I mean, Jeff Van Gundy's going to have to really watch tonight and keep him on the floor because this is by far the best he has played.
Avery Johnson. Jaren Jackson lets it go and gives San Antonio a 4-point lead.
Now, see, that shot is fine because that's uncontested, and that's off the little dribble by Avery to get in that lane. But once again, Avery Johnson getting in the paint, causing all kinds of problems.
Ward to Johnson. Larry Johnson against two defenders. Doesn't get the roll, but the tip is there.
You see why Camby's got to stay out of foul trouble? He's the only guy on the New York front line who can make that kind of play. That's just an aggressive, energetic, quick jumping play.
10 points and 6 rebounds now for Camby. Duncan from 20. You almost invite him to take that shot because you don't want to deal with him in the post, but you forget that he's such a good outside shooter as well.
Well, that's what makes those big guys so unique. Both of those guys can step out on the floor and do that, Bob. We've seen David Robinson do it. They both like to post.
San Antonio with numbers. Mario Elie finishes it.
Jeff Van Gundy and the Knicks have to be very, very careful right now. San Antonio with a couple good defensive possessions.
Avery Johnson, Mario Elie snaps it back inside to Duncan, and it's a double-digit lead, an 11-point advantage for San Antonio.
Duncan is making strong double teams on that post play. Larry Johnson's trying to cut to the basket, Bob, but if he catches it, he can't finish in there.
Duncan goes to the bank, and it's open for him.
The Spurs are a step quicker defensively tonight. That shot that Allen Houston just got blocked, he finished in Game 3.
Here's Houston. A whistle as the shot swishes, and a chance for a three-point play.
Well, they needed that. Allen had missed his last 4 shots. He's now 5 of 12 from the floor.
Avery Johnson puts them back up by a dozen.
See, I think New York's looking around a little bit like, where are the fouls? You know, we got these fouls in Game 3 tonight. That's not the case.
Cross-court Sprewell behind Camby's screen. He puts the jumper down.
Now, Bob, the reason they're going to do that with Avery Johnson is because that will keep him out of the middle. They're hoping that he can't get in the paint. Teams don't like to trap him. They normally like to go underneath.
Camby soars over Duncan for the dunk.
That's the way you take the ball to the basket. No flips, nothing easy. Duncan wanted to take the charge, and Marcus Camby just jumped right over the top of him. More importantly, listen what he has done to this crowd.
Houston got a hand on it, but it comes to Avery Johnson. Elie, the set shot 3, and it's huge for San Antonio.
That is those kiss of death shots that Elie is so famous for. We've seen him when he was with the Rockets. We saw him earlier against the Rockets on NBC when he hit the big 3 to win the game.
Knocked away by Sprewell. You won't catch him. When he gets a step on you, even with the ball, you can't catch him.
Not only that, but you better not float out some lazy, careless pass.
Johnson, Elie, left hand, plus the foul. Now Mario Elie, who had a very poor game in front of 22 of his friends and family for whom he left tickets in the first game of the series that was played here at the Garden, now has scored 12 points. He has 4 assists, and he's 5 of 6 from the floor. Sprewell catch and shoot. He has 16. Sprewell trying to spin on Jackson. He's cut off. They work it inside, and Larry Johnson is able to finish it.
Actually, Duncan got a piece of that ball as well. He almost got that from behind. He did touch it, but Johnson still was able to finish it.
Duncan, Ward helping, leaving Johnson alone.
See, he always goes to the sweet spot. When that ball is double-teamed, the spots that he loves on the floor, those are the ones he practices, and Avery Johnson having a great night here tonight.
Sprewell. Rose trying to guard him. Jumper over him.
Bob, you can't scare him off the shot by looking at him. You got to get a hand out. This Latrell Sprewell, he's going to shoot the ball.
Jaren Jackson fakes his way around Houston. Malik Rose is there with a big follow.
It's going to take everything New York has in this fourth quarter. The crowd, execution, effort, defense, the whole thing to be able to pull this win out now.
Do they make it a best 2 out of 3 by pulling even, or are they pushed to the brink? Thomas gets them 2 points closer. They swing it to the corner for Jaren Jackson. Now it's Sean Elliott. They're patient, still plenty of time. 7 on the 24. Elliott's got a good look at it, and he drills it.
He has got to continue to be aggressive. When he shoots the ball well, he changes their entire team.
He's in double figures now with 10. Allen Houston trying to bring the Knicks back.
When you can shoot the basketball like that, you can post further on the floor because you can just catch and shoot it. That's what Allen Houston just did.
Here's the jumper by Elliott that won't drop. Robinson for the tip. Another try. When the Knicks needed to be on the defensive glass there with a chance to get the ball and move to within 3, San Antonio got several cracks at it instead.
Well, they've been beaten on the boards tonight, 34-24 in critical offensive rebounds. So Charles Sprewell lays that ball in the basket. But Bob, just to follow up on your point about New York, it just always points out to you how fragile success is.
Duncan picks it up. Ellie's ahead of the field. And a big turnaround there.
See, remember that play right there. Larry Johnson just cannot finish in there over David Robinson or Duncan. That shot was blocked as the clock was winding down. Nobody got back. So once again, New York trying to get that thing under 6 or 7. They just can't do it.
Instead of 4, it's 8. Ward for 3. And the tip for Sprewell. Wow, he soared on that. Houston, 2-point game. The Spurs have been the league's best road team in the regular season and playoffs. Robinson's jumper falls through. Spurs trying to do it into the teeth of a hostile, rabid New York crowd in front by 3. Duncan to the hook.
What poise coming out of that timeout. They get a defensive stop. They get 2 scores. 1 goes to 5.
Here's Sprewell through a crowd to Camby. He was fouled, and it stayed down.
I keep talking about Marcus Camby. He's the only guy on New York that can do this.
Sean Elliott, huge shot. Can't hit it. Duncan, loose ball foul. 3 on him.
And Larry Johnson will be able to go down the line and shoot 2. Tim Duncan is blocked out beautifully. And you see the little shove in the back. See, what you have to do there, Bob, you have to use your legs, and you have to be able to try to nudge him with your legs. The minute you get your hands up, they're going to call a foul.
Sean Elliott on the move, poked away, and a foul. It's Camby's second.
Tonight, been much more of a factor. Got off to a great start.
88-84. Sprewell. Charlie Ward for 3. Ellie saves it into Robinson. The Knicks have had several chances to tie. Robinson. The basket will not count. But with the Knicks over the limit, Robinson comes to the line for 2. Robinson with 14 points. More importantly, San Antonio up 6. Houston faking around Ellie. Here's Ward. Shot clock winding down. Sprewell will take it with a hand in his face, and Robinson pulls it down.
New York fans wanted goaltending. That ball was well short when Robinson went up to get it.
Clock winding down toward a minute and a half. Mario Ellie gets it back. Huge offensive rebound.
See, new 24 now, so they're going to get probably over 40 seconds on this possession. If they score here to push it to 8. Running out of time. Help me out here, Coach Costas, on this shot here. What do you think? Is it short? Is it goaltending?
Ooh, it's close.
That is close. Man, that is a big non-call. That would have cut it to 4.
But Johnson can't increase it to 8. It stays at 6 as he misses them both. Sprewell tries to cut it in half, but can't. Duncan grabs the rebound. Was that the right shot to take?
I don't like that shot for Sprewell. I think he can get the ball to the basket. You know, he's not a good three-point shooter. I don't know if it was a 3 or whether his toes were on the line, but I think that's one of those shots that you give Sprewell.
Allen Houston lets it go. The rebound to Duncan, fouled over the back. So now they face, speaking of the Knicks, a comeback from a 3-1 deficit. It has never happened in the finals. Now it's 10 points. Sprewell weaves his way through. Thomas pops the jumper short. Camby follows and hits. Ellie trapped in the backcourt, gets rid of it to Duncan. Last half minute, Avery Johnson. It's a 2-on-1. The lob to the Admiral. It goes through his hands. And the Knicks get it back with 25 seconds.
See, Avery Johnson should have just dribbled the clock out, made him come foul. You don't need to make that play right now.
Sprewell, Camby stuffs it, and they close to within 6. Stranger things have happened. And a foul in the backcourt.
Tim Duncan's getting locked into one spot here out of bounds. He's got to remember he can run. He's like getting cemented to that one position. Bob, after a made field goal, you can move that baseline. Then the worst thing that happens, you don't force a pass and you call timeout.
Camby back to Spree, to the hoop. Thomas takes the rebound with 6 seconds to go. He's fouled.
Hey, Bob, how about last year, as early as last year? I mean, Utah coming into the United Center in Chicago were down, 3-1. Looked like they were going to lose all 3 games there and came back and got to Game 5 to push it back. And then the Chicago Bulls were able to win Game 6. But I didn't think they would win that game. So anything can happen.
But at least Utah was going home.
Absolutely. That's a big difference.
The Spurs win it 96-89. Midway through the 4th quarter, it was 81-79 San Antonio. Ward had a chance to tie. If he hit 2 free throws, he made 1. It was 81-80, and that's as close as they got. They could never get all the way over the hump.
Well, how reminiscent is that of Game 3 when San Antonio tied and Allen Houston's 3, and they never led in the game. So San Antonio fought them off. 8 of 23 field goals in the 4th quarter for New York.
In New York, they still believe, but no team has ever come back from a 3-1 deficit to win the finals. No team has ever won Games 6 and 7 of the finals on the road. On the other hand, David Robinson and the Spurs have closed out their 3 previous playoff series away from home. And odds are they'll do it again tonight if Tim Duncan scores 28 points and pulls in 18 rebounds as he did in Game 4. The Knicks will need a big performance again from Latrell Sprewell, averaging 24 a game in the series. Marcus Camby, 20 points and 13 rebounds in Game 4. Camby says that the Knicks are better than the Spurs. Well, they were when Allen Houston scored 34 points. In the other 3 games, when he scored 19 or 20, the Spurs prevailed to bring them to the brink of their first NBA championship. Houston. Nice move. Started to drive, slammed on the brakes, hit the short pop.
And that's a very difficult shot when you're driving like that, to be able to plant yourself and pull up. And he saw that shot blocker coming over, made a nice effort there to get that little jumper.
From 20 feet, Tim Duncan is perfect.
Now, that doesn't happen by accident, Bob. I was out here watching them shoot around before the game, and he must have shot for about 20 minutes in that same spot.
Sprewell around Elliott. Tied at 4. Houston. He has scored either 19 or 20 points in 3 of the games. The Knicks have lost those 3. Ellie to David Robinson, follows his own shot, hits it, plus the foul. Meanwhile, Charlie Ward's on the deck. He and the fans wanted the charge. It went just the other way. Robinson over Thomas.
See, that's your concern now. They're 3 of 12 and the game is tied. And if you're in New York with this cold spell, that's when you want to get that little cushion. Play ahead. They've got to get it out of this first quarter. They need the lead.
Larry Johnson with Duncan on him. Surrounded by Spurs, goes to the hook and gets the roll.
Well, he needed that kind roll, but once again, the degree of difficulty on those shots for Larry Johnson is he's been so cold from the three-point line, 2 of 15, that he wants to continue to drive it, and he's shooting over those 2 7-footers on every occasion.
Part of the reason why he's shooting 28% in the series. Duncan from the left side this time, and he goes to the bank once more.
How confident is that? He steps out there, shoots that basketball, posts up. Complete player, especially on that offensive end.
Johnson again to the left hand, and again with the 2 points.
And Tim Duncan's upset at himself now. Bob, this is a first-team all-league defender, and he knows one of the keys is to keep Larry Johnson down point-wise. He does not want to let him get off here tonight.
Now it's in Houston's hands. Thomas sets the screen for him, gets it back, and connects.
Remember in game 1 now he had 13 points and 16 rebounds. Since then he has not had a good game. So if they can get him involved in the offense, that could also be very critical.
Jaren Jackson is in, Mario Elie out, David Robinson to the bench, Malik Rose in, and a nicely executed play with Tim Duncan picking up the assist on an Avery Johnson basket.
Well, that's the first basket from the supporting cast that we talked about in our open. They're now 1 for 7.
Allen Houston with the jumper. Good again.
Now, if you run a clinic, you take that right there and you show it to young people. The pivot. Allen did everything with the pivot that time. The ball never touched the floor, created space, and shot the jump shot.
Duncan against Thomas. His moves in the post are so much more polished than you'd expect from any player, really, let alone a second-year player. Houston to the drive. Hit the side of the glass with it. He has it back. Sprewell's open. Won't take the 3. Instead, drives and hits.
The pace of this game favors New York, Bob. San Antonio had 27 points at the end of the first quarter. Tonight, only 15.
Here is Jackson hitting a 3.
Uh-oh. Bob, you nicknamed him the Eliminator in the Los Angeles series after his games 3 and 4, and I know Jeff Van Gundy does not want to see this guy get hot.
And he's been anything but hot since game 1. Ward, little floater. Childs played only 7 minutes on the bum knee in game 4. Duncan. Close to unstoppable. You can maybe make him take a more difficult shot, but you can almost never stop him from getting it off. Thomas against Malik Rose. Hits over him.
So that's what they're going to do, Bob. Anytime that they take out either Duncan or Robinson, they're going to try to post that man up. And Malik Rose does not have the size to play against Kurt Thomas.
Houston back. Thomas outside to Childs. Now Johnson. Left hand, got it off the glass.
Larry Johnson can have success against Malik Rose. They're very, very similar players. About the same size. He knows he's not a shot blocker.
Robinson's jumper is short. Allen Houston around Kerr to the basket. The Knicks open up an 8-point lead. Childs giving Johnson a bit of trouble as he brings it out of the backcourt.
So this is the pressure that New York wants right here. They want that clock burning down against them. Right now it's 10 and they still haven't gotten into anything.
But Duncan can take care of a lot of lapses.
That's not a bad option, is it, Bob? When in doubt, give it to Tim Duncan.
Houston.
When in doubt, go to Allen Houston.
He's got 10.
He's really getting so good in that low post area, something he's added to his game.
Duncan slings it cross court to Elliott. Touch pass inside to Robinson against Dudley. Shot hook. Good.
That was good defense. That was just better offense by David Robinson. Dudley was right there.
Duncan with Thomas on him. Little fadeaway jumper is good.
Now that was a powerful move that time by Duncan. He actually got banged and he was able to continue on through and finish that shot. San Antonio back within 4.
And 14 for Duncan. Chris Childs catch and shoot.
All created out of the double team on Allen Houston. Duncan's going back to double the post. San Antonio does not like to do that. It gets them too spread out on the floor.
It'll be Camby, and it'll be New York by 6.
Allen Houston is just creating shots for everybody. Out of the double team, out of the penetrating drives. He gets his own.
Duncan. How do you stop him?
Well, you don't. You got to hope that maybe somebody can get over and get a hand up. But Bob, as we talked about before, when this game is over, Duncan and Robinson, you can put it in the book, are going to have 40 to 50 points. It's what their teammates do that's going to decide whether or not they can get the win tonight.
Now here's Elliott. Swatted away by Canby, taken by Johnson, who beats the shot clock and hits.
Well, that's tough luck there for New York. Great defense. The ball's knocked over, loose ball, and Avery Johnson picked up. And through all this now, the Spurs are hanging around, down only 2 now, going inside 2 minutes of the half. Bob, the one thing here, they're going to try to go to David Robinson against Canby. He cannot pick up his 3rd foul.
Coming in front for the steal is Sprewell. He's gone. Boy, will he play those passing lanes.
Oh, Bob, how fast he closes the distance between that pass. You try to make that pass over 20 feet, he's going to shoot the gap and get the score.
It's Robinson leaning in and spinning it home.
Canby's got to stay on his feet. If he gets up in the air, that's where you get that 3rd foul, because Robinson's going to jump into you.
Here's Jaren Jackson. Fires the 3 and hits it, and San Antonio, with 6 seconds remaining, takes a 2-point lead. And Robinson is there to clear it. Avery Johnson bounces to the driving Jaren Jackson. And San Antonio has the first points of the half. Jaren Jackson hoists up a 3, and suddenly he's hot again.
There's the same start that we saw in the 3rd quarter. Now the game has gone from 2 to 7, and Jeff Van Gundy's got to be very, very upset. Their offensive efficiency has been awful.
Here's Houston to the hoop for the first field goal for the Knicks. Out to Sprewell. Johnson has it back, spinning on Duncan. Houston. It's a 2. He wasn't quite behind the line. A tough shot brings the Knicks to within 4. Jaren Jackson out to Avery Johnson. 3 seconds to shoot. Avery has it stripped away by Charlie Ward. Here come the Knicks. Sprewell to the hoop. Plus the foul.
I would say this is a pretty powerful finish, and again, it's done off a steal. That's 5 turnovers now for Avery Johnson in the ball game. And Latrell Sprewell just ignites this crowd. He takes off. The powerful finish. See, those big guys aren't back on defense, Bob. When you can get out and run like that, you keep those shot blockers out of the game. New York needs more of that.
3-point play, 1-point game. Foul was on Jaren Jackson, his first. Weaving his way through a whole pack of Spurs and finally giving it up to Ward, but not for long. New York has the lead. Sprewell with 15.
What heart this team is showing. Tremendous courage. Their energy, their defense is lifted right now. San Antonio playing a half-court game.
10-0 New York run. Mario Elie sets on 3 and a big one for San Antonio.
Wow, that crowd's a crowd right there. It goes from now a 1-point deficit up 2. Mario Elie, we've seen him do that so very often in playoffs. Big shots when he was with Houston and they won championships.
Sprewell, who seems to be everywhere, grabs the rebound, brings it up, pops the shot, ties the game.
This guy's unbelievable. When he gets on one of those rolls, he might make 6 in a row and then miss his next 8 shots. But Canby's doing a great job on David Robinson, challenging every shot in the low post.
50-50, and San Antonio loses it. Here comes Charlie Ward all the way. Knicks have the lead. Robinson out of the double to Jackson, who's feeling it, but not this time. Line drive rebound taken on a hop by Houston. He leads Sprewell. Back to Houston around Elliott. Here's his jumper going. Duncan double team, scores anyway, plus the foul. Inside 2 minutes to play in the 3rd. Latrell Sprewell. They had him surrounded. He scored anyway.
Well, he's one of those guys, it doesn't matter. You can put 2 guys on him. When he starts getting this kind of energetic run, you just got to hope that he cools off.
5 seconds to shoot. Duncan will. And he banks it home from long range.
I guess you can stand around, but when you got that guy, he sort of erases any kind of trouble you get yourself into. 5 straight points by Duncan now.
23 for Duncan. San Antonio by 1. Sprewell gets his man off his feet and scores again. Sprewell is 5 for 5 in this quarter. The clocks above each basket are off, and the corner clocks, which have been rolled onto the floor, are on. Duncan spins and hits off the glass. He's almost too good.
How good is that? The spin off the glass looked like he didn't know where he was, but if I am New York right now with David Robinson out of the game, I get that ball out of Duncan's hands. You can't let him beat you right now.
Sprewell lays it in.
See, Sean Elliott has not been a part of their offense tonight, and as a result, defensively, Sprewell is just going at him. He's alive with energy.
And Larry Johnson takes it. Sprewell gets the Knicks to line, and they'll come to the line.
New York back up by 2.
Sprewell with 26, matching Duncan's total. Duncan has scored 10 of the Spurs' last 11 points.
Well, they got to be careful, Bob, not to have him do it all right now. If he needs some help.
Or does he?
Wow. Wow. See, I still think as much as Jeff Van Gundy doesn't want to double team right now, you've got to get Duncan out of his game and make Antonio Daniels or somebody make a shot. Knicks need to keep running. They don't want to set up right now that'll play into San Antonio's hands. Get something quickly.
Sprewell, when you feel it, why not? He's not really a three-point shooter, but tonight, anything goes.
Bob, if you touched him right now, he would shock you. All the electricity running through this guy's body right now tonight. He has been absolutely tremendous.
Duncan again, and the same result.
See, he's getting so deep in that post. I think Jeff Van Gundy is going to have to give a little help. That's too easy there.
Houston to Sprewell, turns, pops, hits.
You know what this reminds me of? Game 7 of the Eastern Conference Finals. Larry Bird and Dominique Wilkins. Who missed first? Dominique, and Bird won. What a game that was.
One of the great duels in the history of the NBA. Knicks by 3. Sean Elliott. Avery Johnson on the move. The floater is good. First Spur other than Duncan to score in a long time. Sprewell out of the double. Finds Campbell. Around the perimeter to Houston. Johnson again. Thought about a 3. Instead drives the lane. Lays it off to Campbell for the slam.
San Antonio was so concerned about Larry Johnson shooting a 3, they ran at him and let him drive the ball to the basket. He found Camby.
Robinson goes to the right hand and goes to the line on top of it with a chance to tie the game. Sprewell, guarded by Elliott, fires over him and hits again.
That was good defense by Sean Elliott. That's the shot you want him to take. You don't want him to drive the ball to the basket. What a tough shot by Sprewell.
33 points. Duncan out of the double to Elliott. Tries to tie it and does. Sprewell with 8 on the shot clock. Johnson screening for him. It'll be Sprewell leaning in, drawing the contact. And the foul goes against Duncan. It's Tim's second.
Well, Duncan had done everything right that time except the last minute he reached in.
Duncan got low. It was rejected by Camby, but there's a foul. 1-point game. They swing it around to Avery Johnson. The bounce to Robinson. Into the lane with the hook that's way off. A minute 25 remaining. Ten seconds to shoot.
Mismatch Sprewell in the post.
Back out to Johnson. Can he hit a 3? He cannot. The Knicks have only 11 three-pointers in the entire series. Sean Elliott Johnson. Big hoop for Avery Johnson. The Spurs by 1.
And how often have we seen teams say, Avery Johnson, you have to make shots in the fourth quarter? And the entire playoff series, all the rounds, he's been able to do that. The double team, Sean Elliott looks like he wants to shoot it and doesn't take that shot, the hesitation. And then he finds Avery Johnson on the baseline, the rotation from New York. Once they came out of the double team, no one found Avery Johnson. And a critical possession now for New York. They're down 1.
Sprewell off the dribble against Elliott. Lets it go. The scoring spree does not continue. And Avery Johnson, perhaps appropriately, has it.
Bob, I can't see the shot clock, but I think they're going to have to foul. I don't know how much disparity. It's about a 3-second differential. They're taking a real chance here if they let this burn out.
It's David Robinson. Robinson spinning to the basket. Muscles up. No whistle. But he got it back. Now they have to come foul. They unleash the shot, and Johnson chases it down and calls a timeout with 1.4. The ball never got to the rim, I guess, and the 24-second clock continued to run. Ward to a Kenny Sprewell. He's underneath, trying to free himself. Can't. The San Antonio Spurs have won their first NBA championship. 26 years coming. And the Knicks made them sweat for every bit of it.
And listen to the New York crowd cheer their team. Bob, they knew they were undermanned. Listen to this. This is a tremendous response to this crowd for the New York Knicks team and their effort.
They tried to spring Sprewell cutting for the hoop. He caught the pass, but the Spurs converged on him quickly.
That's been the whole factor of this series, is the big man have just not allowed you to score. Now he slips the screen, goes right down the lane, makes the great catch, but look who's there. Tim Duncan. He's pushed underneath the basket, forced to dribble the ball, and David Robinson also comes over, realizing you cannot make a pass. The clock is winding down. A tremendous effort by Sprewell to put his team in this position. And let's take a look at San Antonio. Look at David Robinson, Tim Duncan, Mario Elie, Avery Johnson. See David Robinson getting a hug from his father there, Ambrose, his little son. What a moment for the Admiral.
It is now time for the 1999 championship presentation. Joining me on the podium, the San Antonio Spurs co-owners, Peter Holt, Juliana Holt, General Manager, Coach Greg Popovich, co-captains David Robinson and Avery Johnson somewhere. And now for the presentation, here's NBA Commissioner David Stern.
Thank you to the Spurs and the Knicks for giving us a great series. Congratulations to the New York Knicks and their fans for this season and this very exciting run. To the San Antonio Spurs, it was a spectacular series. To them, their fans, to their fans across America, congratulations, 1999 NBA champion, San Antonio Spurs.
For the city of San Antonio, a great ride. What's this mean to the city?
Oh, it means everything to our great fans who've hung with us for 26 years, the great owners that have owned this team for 26 years. Nothing better, nothing better.
And a historical win, Juliana, because the first ABA team to win an NBA championship.
Absolutely. I want to thank God for this fabulous team and the chance to be associated with such extraordinary gentlemen and most fantastic ball players of all time.
All right, congratulations. David Robinson. David. Co-captain David Robinson. You've been through many coaches, many changes, and finally an NBA championship. What's it mean to you?
I'll tell you, to me, this is just it's a journey that just goes to show that hard work and persistence pays off, baby. I love these guys, and I tell you what, One thing I learned to do this year was trust the Lord through the whole thing. He blessed me. He blessed his team. He took us to the top. And if you learn anything from this, baby, learn that the Lord doesn't give up on his people, baby. He takes you all the way.
All right, Tig. Avery Johnson. Avery Johnson. Here's a man.
That's what I'm talking about, 5-0.
Everybody said, Avery, that you couldn't lead a team to a championship. Those days are over with now.
Little big man.
Yes, we're just so thankful for this opportunity. My teammates, they believe in me. Pop believes in me. The Lord Jesus believes in me, and that gives me a lot of confidence.
All right, congratulations to you. All right, now it's time for our presentation of the Finals MVP Award. And to make that presentation, once again, David Stern.
Ladies and gentlemen, join me in applauding a spectacular athlete, a terrific young man who averaged 27 points and 14 rebounds to be the most valuable player of the 1999 NBA Finals, Tim Duncan.
That I've seen you show throughout this entire playoffs. But this has got to mean something for you.
Oh, yeah.
And all of a sudden, everybody,
oh, man, this is incredible.
In the league, all of a sudden, you win the MVP award.
This is incredible. It feels so great out here. The teammates came out here, and we had a tough game tonight. We pulled it out. We kept our focus throughout. We wanted to finish it now, and we did. We did a great job with it.
All right, congratulations to you.
Thank you.
All right, let's go back over to Bob Costas.
More from Madison Square Garden. Many more interviews, post-game celebrations. The Spurs, champions of the NBA. We'll be back after this.